We're back from the Officials Corner. We're along with Coach Steve Smith. Coach, I've always been impressed with your, how you handle yourself throughout the years, and when your name comes up in conversation, the first thing that comes to my mind is integrity. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Now, what I've noticed a lot of times with during the seasons of past, that you never officiated the Albany High game. And I know you worked there for many years and everything. So my question is, should that be a rule that if you graduate from a certain school that you shouldn't officiate, or is there a rule that you shouldn't officiate when you graduate from that school?
It's an unwritten rule. Several people, once they go to a high school, will not do their game. Others wait for a certain period of time, and they will say, I never played basketball there, and I graduated 10 years ago, so I feel comfortable going. But for me, I will never do an Albany High game because obviously I worked there for so many years, and all it takes is one person in the stands, as you know,
yes,
says, hey, so-and-so's cousin says this and that, and then it just snowballs. And when the team's out and they're playing well, I don't want to give them any excuse why they won or lost. So I take myself, and a lot of guys in our board do the same thing. But no, there's no rule that says you cannot. But we definitely encourage them not to go to a school where they're pretty well known for their sports or for their family is connected.
Okay.
Now, I want to know, how is the board addressing the we're a national epidemic of shortage of referees? I have some stats here I just want to quote real quick. Perhaps one of the biggest reasons, on average, only 2 out of every 10 officials return to the third year of officiating, according to the National Federation of State of High School Associations. Since 1971 and 72. Now, having said that, we see a shortage of officials is happening, and then since 1971 and 72, the number of high school officials, the number of high school athletes has doubled from 4 million to 8 million. So we see a trend where more people are playing athletics, but less people are wanting to get into officiating. So what is the board doing to try to recruit more, try to get more people involved and deal with that?
Great question. What we're finding is going into colleges or getting word of mouth. Now, during the summer, I'll get several, as a secretary of the board, I'll get several emails inquiring about how can I become an official. And up north at Queensbury, where we have classes as well, and down here at CBA High School in the fall, Queensbury, Andirona Community College, Siena College, we have kids doing both, going to school and officiating, and that really helps. In basketball, I think because people aren't as busy in the wintertime, that we can get more officials. Obviously, we could always use more, but I know some of the other sports are struggling a lot more than we are, and we've been blessed just with the connection. Friends, just like any club that you join, friends see their buddy in their officiating and say, you know what, I can do that if you can do that, and it really works out well.
Yeah. I have here some scenarios I want to talk about real quick. First, before we get into that, I just want to know, let's go into scenarios first. I got some game scenarios that people may not know. So I want you to give some clarification for that, all right? So one of the things, if a player fakes another player in the lane during the free throw, so sometimes a player feels he could just fake another player in and the player goes in, what do you have?
I have a violation on that player. So the player's inside that you're speaking to and gives a head fake or shoulder fake, and then the other person next to him goes in, it's on the person that faked him in.
Okay.
That's a violation.
A lot of times, these are rules normally that people watching the game won't understand what's going on, and I want to get some clarification on the rules to maybe help our viewers. So a player has 2 feet in the front court, so he's in the front court. If he's dribbling the ball in the back court, and he gets trapped, and then he goes back into the back court to avoid the trap. What do we have there?
We have the 3 parts, so you need the ball and your 2 feet. So once he's established that is front court or back court. I've often said I wish during a game I could just stop and say, okay, but unfortunately, basketball is nowhere to hide. You have to make that call, and if you do make it incorrectly, you do have a partner that you should rely on. Maybe they had a better view, or maybe you missed something, and you ask your partner. We all know the coach absolutely knows what the rule is, but we try to get it to the best we can, but then backcourt.
Okay. I got one question before you go.
Go ahead.
You brought about the partner. what goes into that dynamic when when your partner makes a call and you saw it right, and is it how do you supposed to handle that? How are you supposed to go in there and help that situation out?
Before every game, we have a pregame. And no matter if you officiated, let's say, with your real good friend, you've had 25 games, or this is your first game, a good pregame is the essence of a good game, or at least lower the mistake chances. And I'll say in that pregame, I have no ego. And even though the play is right in front of me, if you know that I missed it, let's get together and I'll change the call. 2 words we have no problem saying is my fault. We just don't want to say it more than once. But that is, a good partner is one that's going to be there when you ask for assistance. And when a coach who's been quiet the whole game, like you often were, Kenny, will all of a sudden says something, and he hasn't said one thing all game. We'll just get right together and say, what do you have on that call? This is what I have. So there's no secret club or a wink wink here. We just want to get it right.
Now, do some coaches get more leeway because they've been coaching for a long time, and than a coach who might have came in earlier or came in like last year or something?
Fairly new coach.
Coach. How's that dynamic work?
No, I think any coach that has a question, and I've always said, some people, oh, he's a good coach, doesn't say anything. No, a coach is someone that questions a call. They're going to learn from it, and their players are going to. Now, if that coach is officiating the game and not coaching, then that's when we address it immediately. But no, whether first, second, he deserves an explanation.
So getting back to what we're talking, some of the rules that people may not know. So airball, this is one of the classics too, because in the playground you always think that it's receive or you can't get the airball. So a player shoots it, it doesn't hit anything, and he runs and he's the first to retrieve the ball. What do you have there?
I have nothing. If he made a shot attempt and he was able to pick it up, he can shoot it or pass it.
Okay.
Because it's an attempted shot.
Absolutely. But describe what a kickball is by rule.
It's changed probably, a lot of people don't even realize, but it used to be from the knee down, and now it's up to the thigh. So once you put that leg out to intentionally stop the ball, whether, even though you may not mean it with your leg, you may put your hand out, but it hits your leg, because the motion started with the leg, then it is a kickball.
Okay, finally, what keeps you going? Some people would say that we're nuts to go out there all night and dare the coaching and dare the fans, sometimes in instance dare the players and everything else, and we're the bullseye when we come in the gym. What keeps you going and wanting to do this? Behind
every good official is a wife who's a saint. My wife has been for all these years. But what keeps me going, and I tell her this all the time, we'll watch sports or a movie, and a movie you can have 100 takes till you get it just right. And you both know when you go on a basketball court, every night is different. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, I could talk for another hour on different stories going on in the basketball court, AAU, high school, college, everything. But it's different every night. And that's what I enjoy about it. Every night is different. You really don't know what's going to happen. And the beauty, just getting to work with different partners and meeting people as we go along is just, that's just the best part about basketball.
Well, we'd like to thank Coach Smith for coming in today and giving us knowledge and advice and experience and history that he's had throughout Section 2. A fabulous person, and even better, with his officiating. I mean, he's a fabulous person. Can't say enough about him. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Thank you. Have a good night.